Welcome in Dynasty fam. Hope you guys had a good holiday season and a Merry Christmas. Going to be talking our week 17 waiver wire ads for Dynasty football. Pretty much most of these guys are players that I'm thinking about 2024 already, right? If you're in the fantasy championship, that's great. Some of these players probably not going to help you, but you could play some keep away, right? There's some quarterbacks maybe you can keep away from some of your opponents. But for the most part, we're looking at guys heading into 2024. So we'll be talking a little bit about some free agents as well to kind of keep an eye out, or things to keep an eye out how things can shake up on different NFL teams. So starting out, guys, we're going to give you our top 7 waiver wire ads. And at the top of the list is going to be, let's find a good one. Yeah, right there. Demarcus Robinson. Pretty much, guys, we've talked about Demarcus Robinson. Oh, you know what? Let's start, with our honorable mentions at the top. We got Drew Lock, free agent in 2024, going to be a long shot, right? Could make a QB roster probably in 2024. Maybe he is a bridge quarterback or a backup somewhere else. But Drew Lock, someone that you could maybe stash, just a long shot. Maybe he can get some offseason hype that could build, as well as Noah Gray, pretty much the tight end there behind Travis Kelce. Kelce's 34, guys. He's been slowing down this year, definitely showing some signs of slowing down. Making a lot of money now as well with some endorsements and advertisements. Definitely has a great future ahead of him, even as an analyst, possibly. So I think it is possible that he could end it now. And if that happens, Noah Gray could get some offseason buzz or hype. If Travis Kelce were to retire, the Chiefs more than likely will draft another tight end, but still someone that if this were to happen, you could get some offseason hype. Maybe you could flip him for like a third, fourth round pick in the offseason. And worst case scenario, you hold on to him, see what happens in 2024. Just somebody free dart those right now, lower rostered players. And now at number 7, Demarcus Robinson, an older veteran, but 40% rostered in dynasty leagues. Like I said, we've been talking about him for a few weeks now, and he's just continued to play well there for the Rams, definitely building some good rapport and chemistry with Matt Stafford. So right now, he made some big plays as well for them in Week 16, and his past finishes have been really good for fantasy: 15.5 fantasy points, 13.6, 14.7, and 20.20 fantasy points. That was the last 4 weeks, and he's gotten a touchdown in every single game of the last 4 games. So big red zone threat and weapon for them, that Rams team. So maybe they bring him back on a cheap deal in 2024. You never know. But someone that you could even just keep and stash away from your opponent for week 17 if you're in the fantasy championship. And at number 6, we have Josh Oliver, tight end for the Minnesota Vikings. You have TJ Hawkinson, unfortunately, out with a torn ACL. So we'll see. Josh Oliver, pretty much the main tight end, signed all the way till 2025. I know they have Johnny Munt as well that got some playing time, but he's not signed for 2024. So Josh Oliver right now, pretty much the lone tight end. And I think it's possible, right? That ACL tear, looking at 9 months, I think minimum for Hawkinson. So it could be that Josh Oliver, if he can end the season well, right, with a little bit of buzz in the off season, as well as getting some chemistry and just learning the offense, he could get some starts early on in 2024 season if Hawk is not ready to go for the first few weeks. So Josh Oliver, definitely a good stash right now for 2024. As well as the number 5, we have Xavier Hutchinson. He's only 54% rostered. We know we've had Tank Dell, the rookie sensation, out for the season. And Xavier Hutchinson, he could have CJ Stroud back in week 17. So got some opportunity these last few games to make some buzz, make something happen with Stroud. And if that were to happen, you just could get an increase in value. Maybe somebody that we could flip if you were to do something for a third, right? Get some draft capital back for the 2024 season. And also, if you can't get any draft capital out of him, Noah Brown is going to be a free agent in 2024. They were probably going to take a wide receiver in the draft, but if not, you have Noah Brown maybe gone in 2024. So still a dart throw either way right now. Xavier Hutchinson, if he's on your waiver wire, decent stash for 2024. And here we go. At number 4, we have Amari Demercado, running back out of Arizona. He's had 14 and 12 fantasy points the past 2 weeks. Connor's going to be 29 next season. He will be under contract, James Conner, for the 2024 season, but he's already missed time with that same knee issue and injury for the past few seasons. So Demercado, just a decent stash for 2024. Even with Conner in the lineup too, he's been used a little bit more in the passing game. Got 3 targets last week, 8 targets this week. Only a few carries. He got four carries last week for 64 yards, which is really good. Then he got only 2 carries this past week for 10 yards. But it's possible if he can get worked in that receiving game that he has a small role even with Conner next season. And then you have that upside as well. If Conner were to go down, Demercado will be the next man up if they don't do anything in the offseason in that draft. So now, guys, before we move on, be sure that you are following if you like Dynasty Fantasy Football. And Dynasty season never stops. We're going to keep creating content right now, breaking down free agency, the NFL contracts, as well as diving into rookies and the rookie content. So be sure to follow and join the Dynasty fam to stay tapped in the offseason. So at number 3, we have Brevin Jordan. And pretty much you just want pieces. He's a tight end from the Houston Texans. Pretty much you just want pieces of that Texans offense. CJ Stroud has made a lot of players just really look good and had some breakouts, right? With Nico Collins there, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, Devin Singletary. All these guys have had some fantasy success as well as NFL success. And right now in 2024, he's going to have some good opportunity. Dalton Schultz will be a free agent. So I think Brevin Jordan is a good upside tight end stash for 2024 in a really up and coming Houston Texans offense led by CJ Stroud. At number 2, I think Sam Darnold could probably be my number 1, but I have him right here at number 2. But not really because he's going to replace Purdy or anything like that, guys, right? That's not going to happen. I know Purdy got benched this past week in a blowout when they were getting blown out by the Baltimore Ravens, but this is pretty much a play for 2024, guys. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Sam Darnold is in 2024. He's only 26 years old right now, former 3rd overall draft pick. So maybe he can be a bridge QB for someone in 2024. That's kind of what I'm looking at as a upside stash for QB Superflex leagues. We've seen it. QB is a tough position to play, right? Not only the physicality, right, if you get injured, but it's just the cerebral part of it is just definitely difficult. A lot of guys don't succeed in it, right? So we've seen a lot of players get shots at QB. This year, there's been 56 different QBs that have gotten the start. Last year, I believe it was 68, but it was a pretty high number last season as well. So Sam Darnold, just someone that you can stash. We have different QBs. I think even the Vikings, I think he'd be a good candidate for the Vikings to bring him in maybe half the season till Kirk Cousins, if they bring back Kirk Cousins and sign him on a short deal. I think Sam Darnold is someone that a team like the Vikings could benefit from, maybe even the Falcons if they don't draft a QB. Some of the teams that have struggled at the QB position. So Sam Darnold, upside Superflex stash for 2024. And at number 1, guys, we have Chris Rodriguez of the Washington Commanders. So slowly he's been getting a little bit of carries the past few weeks. This week he went 10 for 58 on the ground, got 2 touchdowns, only 1 reception, so that is a little bit concerning. Doesn't really get used in the passing game, only 7 yards. But Gibson is a free agent next season. So if Rodriguez, right, he was a 6th-round pick this season. But if he can get, worked in a little bit more in the receiving game, maybe get a smaller role, even if Brian Robinson comes back, right? They use him in the goal line and the red zone this past week. So I think Chris Rodriguez is just a decent upside stash for 2024 if they were to bring back Antonio Gibson. So even if they do, even if for 2024, right, I think he could get some hype in the off season and someone that you can maybe stash or even try to flip if their word is that Gibson's not going to come back. Someone that maybe you can get a upside pick, like 3rd-round pick for, and take another shot somewhere else in your draft. But that's all I have for you guys today. Be sure to like and to follow and support and join the Dynasty fam. Good luck in all your fantasy football championships if you are in the fantasy championship. And again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check some of our other videos, and we'll see you guys next time.